From Armenian side, it was always the president who were representing the country in negotiations. First, it was the Armenian president Levon Petrosyan for 8 years, then 10 years for the second president Robert Kocharyan, and then it was Suren Sargsyan, the third president of Armenia, who were representing Armenia during the negotiations. From Azerbaijani side, it was just Ilham Aliyev and his father Heydar Aliyev.
So then a quick thing, while one can credit Mr. Sargsyan for his foreign policy acumen,
actually, one more credit, if we're talking about credits, he didn't use any force against people in 2018. He was a president, he could use a force and say, okay, guys, it's good that you're doing the demonstration, but it's time to go home, goodbye. But he didn't do that. He didn't make a single shot. So it's a credit that we have to give to him.
Okay, then, like, very interesting thing to tie it back into Nagorno-Karabakh. The 2016 war. 2 years later, we had the big rally, the overhaul of the Armenian, or the transition of Armenia to a democracy. Are there any like events related? Do you think it was really part of the civil society seeing that was saying we need a different government, or it's two very independent events?
You mean the war and the change of power in Armenia?
Yes. Yes.
I think it was. These are two different things. Because when we're talking about the war, it was initiated and started by Azerbaijan. He was trying to figure out if he's able to do some military operation, but he failed to do so. So basically, this has nothing to do with the change of power in Armenia. And these are two separate processes. Well, there is a connections between them, a lot of connections, because we're talking about the same country. We're talking about the country with the same problems under Sargsyan administration and under Pashinyan administration. But these two events, they are not directly connected to each other, not directly in each other.
But I think it gives us a very good ground to comparison, at least in today's war and the 2016 war. The 2016 war is really a war behind the curtains. It wasn't democratic. Today it is democratic. What are these implications? What are what tendencies are favorable to this war?
Like, you know, this is not only the fight between Armenia and Azerbaijan, or Nagorno-Karabakh and Azerbaijan, whatever you call it. It's a war against democratic state. It's a war against the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. Actually, people of Nagorno-Karabakh, it's not a recognized country. It's not a recognized state, but it's a state. They have a president. They have the parliament. They do elections, and they are more democratic sometimes even than here we have in Armenia. It's a democratic society. And of course, when you ask to a democratic society, look, guys, do you want to go and live with Aliyev under his dictatorship? Which democracy would do that? Who would say, okay, I'm fine with that. I will quit my democracy and go and live with the dictator. Definitely it's not possible. So this is one of those important aspects that we need to think about when we talk about Azerbaijan and Nagorno-Karabakh being a part of Azerbaijan. That's not possible, because these people will never quit their democratic values to go and live under the dictatorship of Ilham Aliyev.
Okay, so then I think we can move forward to the war again and maybe take a personal perspective. September 27th, you woke up. What were you thinking? What went through your head? What went through your mind?
After the drills that Turkey and Azerbaijan did together back in those days, back in, I think it was June when they did the drills, a lot of military equipment was left on the ground in Azerbaijan, Turkish military equipment. So definitely we were aware that Azerbaijan is preparing a war, and Turkey is involved. So basically this was what happened on before 27 of September. So how did I know about it? Actually, they started the war early in the morning, and I woke up because my phone was ringing. I had like hundreds of text messages, missed calls, etc. I was just sleeping at that time, and I was just woke up, looked at my phone, and I saw that a lot of people are writing that the war has started. So it was a very difficult morning, I will tell you.
And then you were aware Turkey left military equipment already in June. In retrospect, could one have done anything if one would have reached out to partners, to friends on a global scale, would they have intervened? Would they have called it out? Could we have used press, media, news more effectively, or there was nothing we could have done? It was a hopeless, inevitable fact.
A lot of things were done, actually. A lot of things were done to prevent this. But as you can see right now, even the United States and even Russia are not able to put a pressure on Erdogan and Aliyev to stop the war. So basically, we're talking about the situation that, okay, we knew about it, but we couldn't do anything about it. Even global superpowers, even a country like the United States is not able to put a pressure on them, even for a ceasefire. So if they cannot do that, if Russia cannot do that, then who could do that? I think nobody can do that. And so could we prevent it? I don't think so. Could we do a better job now? Most probably yes. But at the same time, I think that this war showed that Armenian people is united, and we are, I think, we are fighting not only against Azerbaijan, but we are also fighting against Turkey and against international terrorists brought to the ground by Turkey.
What is so shocking to me that, like, this outset really proves that today genocide, crimes against humanity can happen in the blink of an eye, and there's nothing one can really do. That should be a wake-up call.
Of course, Armenia, Armenians, we're a nation that we saw this genocide. We saw the genocide. My grandparents saw the genocide, and they hardly escaped from the genocide. They could hardly save their lives during the Armenian genocide in Turkey. So we're thinking that the same is going to happen now. If Armenian army is not successful, if international societies fail to do that. So I think there's a big threat of the second genocide to Armenian people.
So then you cut the point, international society. A lot of our audience here at Faces of Armenia is international, comes from other countries. In fact, I think more than 20,000 are based outside Armenia. So we are talking a lot about the actors, the background, the origins, but let's really focus on the war itself and reflect the time since September 27th and understand, okay, Nagorno-Karabakh is this region of about 1,700 square miles. What were the most significant attacks? How many people fled? Like, to really draw a picture of what has been happening and to better help our audience understand of what is at stake.
There is a line of contact between Azerbaijan and Nagorno-Karabakh. There's a very long line of contact, and Azerbaijan started aggression on that line, like total line, like global line.
Can you try to, like, I'm sorry, it's very important that we're clear. If you draw Nagorno-Karabakh, is it just on one border? Does it go all around Nagorno-Karabakh?
No, it's not around. It's about the half of the Nagorno-Karabakh border, because Nagorno-Karabakh has a border with Iran, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. So it's almost half of the border. So Azerbaijan aggression started from point A to from point Z of the conflict line, the contact line. And they are using all types of weapons, including the types of weapons that are forbidden under international law. So they're using these weapons against civil population of Nagorno-Karabakh. They're bombing cities, villages, hospitals, like doing everything that is forbidden under international law. So this is the basic thing that I can tell about this war. They're attacking aggressively with the support of Turkey from the air, from the ground, and they're using all possible arms that they have in their arsenal.
And to understand, like, not only it's a ground attack, but they're flying rockets, so places in Nagorno-Karabakh are being attacked. And I think a good research is always the road to Artsakh, which is, I think, funded by the Armenian government, that shows the destruction before and after the September 27th.
I didn't hear the last part of the question.
No. So, like, to understand that even cities located in the middle of, like Stepanakert, it's not a border city, even are being attacked. Illegal bombs, merge cluster bombs are being used. What is the implication? You are a professional on international law. Can you tell us maybe about the Geneva Convention on the prohibition of such weapons and the consequences, if any, or is it just another paperless tiger?
Well, you know, it's really hard to say what's going to happen, because we have all the evidences, all the proof that Azerbaijan is using cluster bombs against Armenian civil population, against Stepanakert. I'll tell you more. You know, they're bombing not only territory of Nagorno-Karabakh, they're bombing territory of the Republic of Armenia too. So a lot of Armenian citizen villages were under Azerbaijani attacks during this month. So we're not talking about only on the Nagorno-Karabakh. We're talking about Armenia too. What can we do about the international law? Well, probably we could go to international courts. We could go to some courts of human rights, etc. But unfortunately, these days, international law is an instrument in the hands of international politics. Unfortunately, international law is not as strong as we would like it to be, and Azerbaijan is proving that. Azerbaijan is proving that you can use international law as much as you want and however you want, and Turkey is also showing the same. So from international legal point of view, there are a lot of things that we can do, but would it be effective enough? Would it be as effective as we would like it to be? It's really hard to say.
Very insightful. And as we are unfortunately gradually running towards the end of the interview, could you briefly reflect on the implication of, I think, Richard Haas, Henry Kissinger's term, the New World Order, moving from a bipolar to a multipolar world? How does this reflect on this specific war, in this specific country?
The world is changing. The world is changing rapidly. If we used to have two-polar world during the Soviet Union and the USSR times, then we had one because of the collapse of the USSR. Now we have three at least. This is Russia, this is the United States, and definitely this is China. And I think that it is changing very fast. China is growing very fast. China is challenging the United States as a new emerging superpower, global superpower. And we're dealing with three-polar world with the US, China, and Russia on top. Of course, there are other emerging superpowers such as the European Union. I mean, it's not a one country, but still, it's an international player. But what can be done by these small countries, small states? I think we need to use all the tools of small state diplomacy in our international affairs, in our international relations, because this is a very hard time for small states to implement their foreign policy without being under the umbrella of one of these three superpowers. So what can we do? We can develop relations with all these superpowers, with Russia, with China, and with the United States. Keep a balance, because this is all about small state diplomacy. We have to have good relations, not only with our neighbors, but also with all the superpowers involved in or having interests in our region.
Strong words, new perspectives, new tools, new future. Dear Suren, thank you very much for coming today to Faces of Armenia. We thoroughly enjoyed your words of wisdom. And let us know if you have any concluding remarks.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is that I hope there will be peace in our region. I hope that the war will be over as soon as possible. and the ceasefire will be in place. As you know, 3 superpowers were trying hard within the last month to finally set up a ceasefire, but they failed because of the position of Azerbaijan. So I hope the peace will prevail.
With these words, thank you very much, Suren.
Thank you. Thank you very much.